Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. So last time we left off with kind of a murder mystery, more or less. What kind of happened was while I was traveling in the warp, it showed kind of a scene where the main character was taking a bath in his quarters, and suddenly the pipes went from flowing water into the bath to flowing blood. And everyone got up in a tizzy about that because it turned out to be mutant blood. And we found out that this guy right here with the weird neck like that had been murdered. About 100 people, I think they said, were drained of blood, and that's what had flowed into the baths. And now everything is on lockdown while we figured out who did the murders and a few things like that. So that's kind of where I left off because I figured this would be a huge thing that might take a little bit to do. And we're supposed to more or less find out the situation, starting with this body right here. So let's figure this out. Desiccated body is horribly mutated. What was once a face is now a shapeless mass of flesh and bone shards. Oh, lovely. The worker's ruined body lies in a waxen pile on the platform. His face is crushed, his throat open, his body riddled with cuts and lacerations. Above it stands Captain Klein, a dim light filling the lines on his forehead with shadows that bleed down his furrowed brows. And into the pits of his eyes, the scalpel in his hand trembles faintly. It might look human, but what's inside is all wrong, unholy, irredeemably wrong. Have you started the autopsy yet? I have, but I will get back to it in just a moment, your lordship. What's the matter? You look pale. I suppressed a dozen mutant revolts on Darganis for Lady Theodora. I have torn freaks to pieces myself, but to open one up, to sink my hands into their impure guts infested with the mutant blight. I have seen this aberration utterly pervert the human form. The thought of it touching me, disgusting, infuriating. I will overcome this. You will indeed. If you like, I can recite a few paragraphs from the regulations to enthuse you. Coal-black fear colors his soul. I doubt it can be cast off by mere force of will. Well, I have willpower. Hand the scalpel to me. I will perform the autopsy and you record the findings. You must feel great making the rogue trader do this. While he's facing away. Willpower succeeded. The skin and bones part. The stench of rancid meat hits your nostrils. Klein empties his stomach over the deck railing, fighting the urge to vomit yourself. You peer at the vile mass of subhuman entrails. Gain 12 experience, yay. Vestigial ingrown arms wrap around what looks like the vile semblance of familiar organs interlaced with scaly, bile-colored sacs. Lovely. Failed a Xenos tech, you could not begin to guess what unfavorable genetic factor caused such hideous mutations. I would have needed Yvette with me to pass that. No one else has Xenos. Argenta reflexively raises her weapons when she sees the mutant rotten insides. Fiery rage inside her seems to be capable of considering the abomination as thoroughly as any flamer. We got Lore Imperium. Let's investigate the entrails here. Succeeded there. The twisted abnormalities of the mutant makes you wonder if he can even be considered human at all. As you probe deeper, your hand finds something lodged in the victim's gullet. Someone has stuffed a black feather in the man's throat. A certain legend springs to your mind, one involving Saint Quirine, who was granted a portent of enemies hiding among the faithful. When Quirine prayed to the Emperor for a sign that might reveal the traitors, a raven feather burst out of her mouth, inscribed with the names of conspirators. Only someone versed in the symbology of the Imperium could have left such a message. Let's look for the wounds. Your practiced eye instantly notices that the corpse was mutilated posthumously, so after they died. You have resorted to such ruses yourself on a number of occasions when I was a crime lord, when you needed to trick some servants of the law. Judging by the damage, the most brutal wounds were administered after his death. Hi, Bear. what do we need? Bear has been freaking out today and like jumping on the back of my chair because it's snowing outside. And if you don't know, she's afraid of everything. Like, I know I've spoke about this in a lot of my videos before, but like I have to escort her to her food because she's afraid of the dark and her own shadow, and half the time that room is dark, even if I leave the light on for her. So, like, the fact that there's snow falling outside, she is going absolutely bonkers. So this episode might be a little weird of me going like, okay, Bear, what's wrong? Just fair warning. Okay, so where were we? Judging by the damage, most brutal wounds were administered after his death over the top of those inflicted while the victim was alive. It's as if someone was deliberately wanting to make it harder to identify the victim and his cause of death. The truth is, the killer acted quickly with surgical precision, then suspended the body upside down to drain it of its blood. Okay. Look for identifying marks. With some difficulty, you are able to discern a mark on his neck, almost ruined by the wound across his throat. It's a tattoo of a skull with a valve around its mouth, a string of letters and numbers encircling it. SP24601. I wonder if we're going to need that, so I'm going to write it down. Better be safe than sorry. And toss the scalpel away. I've finished the autopsy. The enforcer offers you a rag soaked in disinfectant. That was foul. Your lordship, I must commend your fearlessness and insight. Apologies for my weakness of spirit. My shameful fear prevented me from doing my duty. It will not happen again. It better not. You made the rogue trader do your job. Shame on you, Captain. It is an officer's duty to be the support to the Lord Captain, not the other way around. If that burden is too great for you, you should consider resigning. I speak plainly, veteran to veteran. A modicum of sympathy is buried beneath this Seneschal's ruthless word. That will do, Captain. We all have our weaknesses. You've been a model of fearlessness and competence. I will aspire to follow your example. Alright, so someone tried to conceal the identity and the cause of death. You have a keen eye, your lordship, but why would someone do that and then leave the body in plain sight? They could have just disposed of it. There has to be something more to do with the whole bloody business. Bloody business. You turn your attention to the floor around the corpse. There's no splatter, no gobs of flesh, no bloody footprints fortuitously trailing into the dark, and yet you know there's no way to butcher a corpse like that without getting dirty at all. That's a good point, like with all the blood that he was drained somewhere else and then placed here for us to find. Someone stuffed a feather down his gullet, a reference to the legend of St. Corinne. Well spotted, your lordship. No doubt you have already reached the same conclusion, but I will state it for the official record. Vile mutants do not make allusions to saints. This was someone versed in the creed. And then the tattoo, that's a symbol of the Pipe Warden clan that maintains the sewer system. The SP stands for Senior Pipe Warden. So he was high up, followed by his identification number. Genevieve is working on the work log cognitor. She can use it to learn the victim's name from his number. The cognitor is nearest to the maintenance room. Okay. So let's go do that. And talk to Genevieve then.
Over there.
Embrace true power.
Wait, what?
Attention to detail is the key to success.
What was I supposed to find? Because I saw or heard it over there. And that was just this hidden walkway, I guess. Oh no, I passed her.
Powers unseen.
This way. To the cognitor. Genevieve. You are obstructing the investigation, esteemed tech priest. I require information stored by the machine spirit. If you refuse to cooperate, petition rejected. A malady has befallen the machine spirit of the honored cognitor Iota 3B. Unauthorized anguish will worsen its condition and impede treatment. I will not stand for such acts of brutality against the Great Elder. I'll show you brutality, you blasted cog. What's going on here? The great esteemed tech priest Andromeda Fee does not seem to realize the importance of the investigation and refuses to grant anyone access to the Master Cognitor. Exalted ruler of the vessel, I mean not to harm but to protect. I merely care for the machine spirit's health. It has fallen ill of late, and now its temper is worse than ever. If the lay woman starts torturing it now, the venerable spirit may take offense and leave us forever, taking the logs of the lay people's toils with it. This must be prevented. This statement is true. The incident catalog on this vessel contains no less than 12 incidents of grievous loss of data due to disrespect shown to machine spirits up by unauthorized units. And Generve, why are you seeking to access the malfunctioning one? The work logs are on it. They might contain important information that will lead us to our suspect. This laywoman does not even know what she intends to inquire on the Blessed Elder. Blasphemous disrespect. Alright. So what if I inquire about this? We need to obtain information about a certain pipe warden. Ruler of the vessel, why do you insist on interrogating an elderly soul when it is in such a miserable state? You're making a mockery of the Omnissiah's tenets and privileges of the priesthood of Mars. You have my word that I will treat the machine spirit with due respect. You may observe the interrogation. He lets out a screeching sigh. Access privileges granted. I reserve the right, essentially, to interrupt the interrogation the moment I detect the slightest threat to the machine spirit. At your approach, the lumens of the Master Cognitor's bulky hull light up peevishly, and the coiling filters breathe an exasperated sigh, and the machine spirit seems to be in a rotten mood. The fact that all of these, are alive seems very odd to me. In the name of upholding the blessed axiomatics, I am initiating the accompanying tech service. O calculating machine spirit, blessed in omniscience, luminous in the darkness of ignorance, may the regalia be revealed, may the prayers of access be said, may these restrictive circuits be removed. Let's courteously introduce myself, not proudly, showing respect for the spirit. After unnecessarily long verification process, the Cognitor recognizes the possibility that you may be indeed the ship's Lord Captain. A string of Technica Lingua on the vid screen tells you that you may input your request. Neither of these are really what we're asking for, but I guess humbly ask for the toils of the ship's workers. Beside itself with anger, the Cognitor sprays you with sparks. As its vid screen dims and flickers, you hear the spiteful word and find yourself staring at an incomparable mess of symbols. Apparently, the spirit refuses to comply on account of blocker A403. Oh, the spirit is truly unwell. Why else would blocker 403 prevent it from sharing such data, especially after a log ritual of greeting? Observing critical distortion of the secret code, initiating the sacrament of hibernation, and noting the holy machine spirit's data card. Well, we have tech use here. Treat the Cognitor's boards with thermal uniction and let it slumber for a while, then awaken it once more. We're doing this. Oh, Deus Machina, bestow an impulse of miraculous transformation of the new I can't do this. I can't pronounce half this. Spirit of this machine may arise again from its sacred data stream. Logic. Inquire about the cause of the old Cognitor's ailment. Succeeded. There we go. You managed to find the right string of tech commands. With grunt, Cognitor starts whining on about its woes. Just as today's watch began, someone disturbed its data stream, used some trickery to rob it of its data, then befuddled the elderly mind and instructed it to not deny access to anyone else. There we go. Registering Category 3 Act of Sacrilege, resulting in a Category Epsilon Quattro Transgressive Scenario, requesting the inclusion of offender in the Registry of Wanted Entities for the purpose of expeditive disposal. Right on, Pascal, whatever the hell that means. Because I can say words, it doesn't mean I comprehend them. Alright, request information about the sewer senior guy, 24601. After mulling your question over for a while, the spirit recalls that the number is assigned to a senior pipe warden. That's what it means. By the name of Ordo. This Ordo and his partner spent the last watch servicing Valve 27B, which supplies water to rogue traders' chambers. That makes a lot of sense. After finishing up the maintenance, only Ordo's partner reported in. That's the same valve that was used to pump blood into the bath chamber. That's where they killed Ordo before dragging his corpse to deck. How about the pipe warden's partner? At first, Cognitor feigns ignorance out of spite, pretending not to recognize your request, but after 4 more attempts, the spirit takes pity on you. Ordo's partner was the senior pipe warden Gwendon, 26855. Once again, writing that down just in case. Gwendon has not reported for duty since that incident because she probably knows he's dead. We have our suspect. It looks like Gwendon killed his fellow worker, put on his entire body as a spectacle. I'm not sure about that one, but we'll see. He might have been forced to report in. Hirokto is one of the responsible for arresting rebels, so he'll be our best candidate for shedding some light on this Gwendon character. Our machine spirit is tired. It cannot bear any more of this torture, if this is torture. I see you got what you came for, so I'd ask that you let the elderly have their rest. Activating Deep Hibernation Protocol. May the Omnissiah bless this machine with healing slumber, and the sacred unity that of its anode and cathode be purified and shine once more. Sure thing. Sure thing. Where is
The world
this one?
will bow.
He's not on my map. Maybe he's still with Jocasta? Because Generve, Klein, and then there's Jocasta over here. Oh, maybe I need to go up more that way.
My feet.
I didn't see that there was more this way. Yep. A lot more this way. Okay. Let's go. It's tech use. Over here. Sorry, Pascal. Some goods here. Just cargo stuff. There's Hirokto, but let's take a look around here a little bit more. Just get what we can here quick. Yeah. Alright, so just talk to Hirokto. Doesn't look like I can keep going much this way. Your Lordship, how fares the investigation? Satisfactory. We are maintaining fear and respect among the rabble as we go through this. Our suspect, we will find the culprit soon, I swear on my rank. Well, maybe you won't have a rank soon. We'll see on that. If there is a senior pipe warden by the name of Gwendon among the suspects, escort him to me. I want to talk to him. Gwendon, yes, we have him here. He's waiting his turn. We'll bring him over at once. Hi, Gwendon. We just want to talk. I have been informed of your decision to question one of the suspects, Lord Captain. I consider it my duty to be present for the interrogation so that I may ensure your safety. Sure thing. Where is Gwendon? There you are. It's kind of funny how it always flashes that up and then makes it disappear when someone goes up or, like, starts walking in these things. Before you stands a gaunt man in work clothes. His face swollen from the bruises after several of his fingers are broken and sticking at odd angles. He stares vacantly into the distance with watery eyes. I thought you said he was still waiting. Why does he look beaten half to death? These are merely preliminary measures before the interrogation begins in earnest, your lordship. A suspect becomes more inclined to speak if you give them the baton first. Standard procedure. I thought I said this was supposed to be stopped. Start talking, you miserable wretch. You tried to kill the Lord Captain, didn't you? What's all this? Heroico grabs the worker by the lapels. Gwendolyn coats flies open, revealing crude occult symbols painted all over his body. What's this? Heretical brands? Cultist scum. Yes, it was me. I tried to put a curse on the Lord Captain. I killed my partner in a wicked ritual, rubbed elbows with them demons, consorted with them all to carry out a dark plot and doom the Lord Captain for the glory of the Almighty Master. He burst into a fit of hysterical, theatrical cackling. His words, he's trying to paint them all over with fake garish hues, but abject terror carries with it too much black and gray. What does he hope to accomplish with this? He has admitted to everything, the vermin. I have insisted time and again that the assassination attempt was carried out by one of Whiterigger's surviving henchmen, and I was right. I guess we weren't thorough enough in clearing them out. I don't trust this. He was beaten before we talked to him, and he just so happened he talked too quickly, and he just so happens to have all this stuff painted on him where Heroico knows, like, right away, look at this stuff. And who is this dark and almighty patron of yours? Let's logic this. Master Malachi the Dreadful. Him. Yes. Who's Malachi? You do not remember hearing of such a demon before. What you do remember from the reports is that the name of a foreman from the 5th Depot, known a miser and a sadist, Malachi Drek. I know this is going to be a fail. But how did you kill your partner? How did I succeed that with the 55? Well, I grabbed him with the rusty saw and started hacking at him. Then I pulled out a dagger made from virgin's bones and stabbed him. Oh, right, and I also cursed him first. It was only right. None of the wounds on the victim's body could have been inflicted with a saw. There were no dagger wounds on him either. And those marks, what do they mean? I somehow succeeded all that. These are my cultist marks, so I can put curses on people and talk to demons. He pokes at a finger at an uneven semicircle with 9 arrows coming out of it. This one's called a Hame of Terror. It represents the 9 archdemons. I always pray to each one first thing in the morning. You were unimpressed at the half-baked attempt at drawing 8-pointed Star of Chaos. Yes, the 8-pointed Star of Chaos has 9 points. Alright. Enough with the theatrics. You're an occultist, so why are you so intent on vilifying yourself? Forgive me, your lordship. I'm not Gwendon. I'm no heretic. Yart's me name, and I'm a laundryman. Please have mercy. They took my family. The enforcer said she'd throw them out of the airlock if I don't confess. She made me draw these unholy symbols on myself. Your enforcers have a knack for persuasion, Mistress Sauerback. But this is ridiculous. What enforcer? Name. Give me her name. Generve. Her name was Generve. The failed heretic raises her hand to his face, and you see many purple bruises. They are far older by several hours. He was evidently beaten long and hard. He would have been screaming the whole time. Someone must have witnessed it. Generve? The steely edge in Sauerback's voice causes everyone present to freeze. We also hear a note of bewilderment. We will deal with her later. I will handle the search for Gwendon myself, Lord Captain. Would you have us execute this demon worshipper? This guy right here, Yart? No. Spare the man, wash off his symbols, and let him rejoin his family. It will be done. Lord Captain, the evidence you have collected is sufficient to apprehend the culprit. That sentence sounds so weird. I will report you in the mess hall, and we will bring the investigation to a hold. You know, I actually thought it was going to be Heroico. Hey, we're going to have a little talk, but I guess we got to go back to the mess hall here. So does that mean... our other enforcer is up shit creek without a paddle now? Lord Captain, the real pipe warden Gwendon has been found and is being escorted here as we speak. Are there any remaining questions you wish to address before we hear from Gwendon myself? Yeah, someone attempted to mislead our investigation. We cannot let this go without consequences. Undoubtedly, let us go over the facts we have on this sabotage and compile them. The body of the deceased was mutilated after death. It is likely that the nature of the injuries would have proven very useful in the investigation, and that the perpetrator concealed them for that very reason. Someone sabotaged the work log cognitor so it would be harder for us to find the victim's partner, who might have the information valuable to the investigation. Instead of the murdered man's partner, we were given that fool, one who thoroughly incriminated himself first before admitting that Captain Generve had put him up to it. Who was guarding the body? It was Generve. I relieved her when I came to inspect the corpse, which by then had already been cut up. So Klein found Generve. Is this seriously going to be a which of the three? Generve nervously adjusts the armor under Sarovac's piercing gaze. The corpse was already looking like that when it came under my purview, but I could not get the name of the officer who discovered it. The deck was in such a mess that I decided I would deal with it later. Suspect Yar claims that you coerced him to lying about himself, Generve. What do you have to say about that for yourself? I may have conducted preliminary interrogation like so many others. Hirokto requested my assistance because my experience in dealing with Rebel, but I swear there is no truth to these accusations against me. The transcript says you conducted Yar's interrogation alone. Why is that? Because I can handle a single laundryman. She raises her chin proudly. Who had access to the work cognitor? Tech Priest did not let anyone near the cognitor. They even tried to prevent Enforcer's investigation. Genere, were you there the entire time? Yes, ma'am. Since the start of the watch, I went there right after I handed the body over to Klein. The only time I stepped away was to retrieve the data slate from my quarters. I left a single watchman, but he went missing. Most likely, one of the officers did not realize he was on duty and sent him on some errand, but I was only gone for a few minutes. Very convenient, a missing sentry, a data slate misplaced, against regulations. Hirokto drums his fingers on a holster on his belt where his own data slate sits tightly nestled. I don't understand how I could have forgotten it. I always check my gear when I go on duty. This is gonna sound really weird. All the evidence points at Generve. I don't think it's her. I think it's Hirokto. But I don't think I found the evidence for that. I don't think it's Generve. I think she's being set up. And there's no option going like, I don't think that this is the right call, but something isn't right here. So, I'm not gonna... I know everything here points at Generve. I can't decide this. I know it's not Generve. So, Sourback, you decide. Leave it to me. I will not rest until I get a confession. A real confession. So she's gonna interrogate all three of them. In the meantime, let us get back to the assassination attempt. Senior Pipe Warden Gwendon, honored to serve. Lord Captain, I'm ready to confess everything. You are the real Pipe Warden, are you not? I am proud of it. Lord Captain, a Pipe Warden's craft is hard work, but not necessary. My number is SP26855. My partner, the late order, was SP24601. That is correct. I oversee the water supply systems on the upper deck, sectors A3, K8, and R2. That includes valve 27B. Okay. There can be no mistake. I have verified his identity myself. That it has also been confirmed by other workers. Did you fill my bath with blood? I did, as the servant of death commanded. She said Emperor gave the first spinner a sign that your lordship should be bathed in blood of poor Oda, my partner, and I was scared, so I obeyed. So it was something from the first spinner. Okay. The first spinner? I used talking about the vizier of this blood-spun web. Yes, that's him. He leads the death cultists. The lot who worship the Emperor by killing. His spinners hunt down heretics, but sometimes they take righteous lives too. Their service is mysterious, fervent, and bloody. Did you kill your mutant partner? I didn't kill him. I didn't know he was a mutant. Ordo and I always got along, but even if he wasn't much for talking. But then, a servant of death came from the darkness, ended him quickly but harshly. She bled him dry, put a black feather in his throat. She told me to pump blood into the pipes, and then she left. I wanted to confess, but I was afraid she'd come for me too if I did. Whom do you mean by this servant of death? A holy slayer in black, crimson, and bone, feared by all, but they are quiet, merciless, as death themselves. They come from the shadows to kill because the Emperor commands them. You've already met the servants of the Bloodspun Web. Lord Captain, their grim procession is not one the upper decks will soon forget. Okay. Summon the Vizier. I wish to hear his explanation. Your Lordship, if I may ask, what happens to me now? I never meant to anger you. I thought I was doing as the Emperor willed it. But here we are. I'm a simple man. I know pipes, and I know them a lot better than people of this business. My eyes aren't what they used to be, but I can still smell rust in metal, though I'm not as much as in people's thoughts. Well, you acted as a true servant of the Emperor would? Nah. You were deceived into being an accomplice. I will not punish you. Thank you for the bond of my heart, your lordship. I'll serve you faithfully, and I'll never forget your mercy. I could have given him the implant, but that I could have seen that going so wrong so quickly. Like, anyone taking any message from anyone could have then, like, gone so bad. Anyone could have gone like, hey, I want to do this to the rogue trader because it's from the Emperor. And then they go, well, maybe I'll get an implant after I do this. No, we're not taking that risk. So here's the Vizier of the Bloodspun Web. Domin Miacidae willed to see me, and so I have come. So I have summoned you to discuss the actions of your apprentices. Let their deeds be weighed. Investigation has been established that the Bloodspun Web orchestrated an attack on his lordship by means of pouring unholy blood into his bath. This affront. Domin Miacidae knows the truth, so it was done. For so I did will it. It was no affront, but a prophecy. For my hands divine, unsullied martyrs offered their souls and bodies into his imperishable embrace. I gazed into the red rivers of their smoldering lives, and I did see. A roiling, unclean stained the bays, reaching for an anointed lord of the Ark. In my apprentices' last sighs, I heard the Undying One's whisper. He bid me bathe the domain in blood of he who must go, and they who have must been righteous, for this will shield the domain and strengthen his body against the roiling unclean. I obeyed. What do you mean by the roiling unclean? He did not reveal, but it is corruption itself. It offends him. It tastes as sweet as fetid waters in the old pipes. Its promises are the deception of an enforcer's smile, its face elusive. So you did this because the God Emperor willed it so? I speak, I move, I draw breath because he wills so. I will not defy the Undying One, neither in death that gifts and takes, nor in my living existence. Alright. So the man you killed, who was he? I know not. I only heard the name. I know he must go. Yes, we need no more knowledge than that. So your vision couldn't have been false, right? I held the cards of his tarot washed in the blood of the righteous. They make no mistakes, and neither does he who sends false visions. Only mortals err, they who read the signs, they who interpret. So he could have interpreted wrong, is essentially what he's saying. So, Master at Arms, are you convinced that we've found the culprits? The situation is clear, your lordship. The Emperor has sent a supportant, the protector of mankind that guides his hands of his holy servants to Cardus. The protector of mankind guides the hands of his holy servants to guard us, only to warn the hidden threats. Okay. So that was essentially, the whole blood thing was to protect us against the unholy, is essentially what I'm taking from this. God Emperor, I thank thee for protecting us, even though there are instruments of your protection whose purity and holiness I may never understand. And it wasn't coincidence that the ritual is a genetic aberration. The officers around you keep a respectful silence, but you can tell by faint smells that they find the very idea doubting of the Emperor's provided absurd. Alright, well, the Bloodspun Web does their thing. I'm not going to persecute them. Yes, I will tell him. We are seeds in your hand, giver of life. Whether you keep us or scatter us, we will remain grateful. Be that as it may, we have a hit on the dead end. We had hoped for exposing culprits who would lead us to Aberration's lair. But if we keep investigating, we could find other things, because there was that cover-up. So let the investigation continue. But no spinner or brave warrior from Doman's circle can find the roots of the unclean, for it can appear as human and act human. Only thoughts betray its vile nature. Only thoughts are never human. Wise? So they're gonna get the choir in here. An anxious silence falls on Sourbeck's, and her eyes narrows. Is it unclean thoughts that we need to find? Very well, let Wise find them. He knows no matter how badly he wishes to rest. No matter how badly he wishes that the rest of us forget about it. Veni Zachary is a fearsome hunter. When he hunts, the flagship wails. When he thinks, my teeth creak, and I can feel pain as if I am young again. But his power is great indeed. He can hunt down our prey. So how can he be of use to us? The esteemed Zachary Weiss can perform the ritual of thought reading. This practice lets him do a cursory examination of the minds of thousands of people in search of certain individuals. Okay, let's do that then. A ritual as rare as it is dangerous. Only someone as versed as Master Weiss can accomplish such a feat. So he's done that before? Once, Lady Theodora made use of this service to expose spies on boards who apparently had been in employ of Lord Inquisitor Calcazar. So not everyone here is eager to leave this matter to Master Weiss. I would say the least eager one will be Master Weiss himself. Last time, his efforts caused some severe warp manifestations. The ritual is truly perilous. Not to put too fine a point on it, Weiss nearly destroyed the ship back then. Incidentally, he had given us multiple warnings that it could happen. Lady Theodora ignored him, and we reaped the results. Oh, why do I get the feeling that I know what will happen next? I didn't see the ritual. Wise kicked me out, but the echoes that it reached the deck were enough to scare me shitless. Wise is a mighty old Grox, but his head is a mess. And I mean the bad kind of a mess, the astropathic kind. I say think twice before I risk having whatever lives in his head crawl out. Well, that's all then. We'll have him do it. My duty will be done. When the threat is eliminated, I will brief the enforcers while you consult Choir Master. To the Choir Master then. I get the feeling this is gonna be fun. Let's talk to Wise. Oh, we leveled up. So where is Wise? I don't remember talking to him on board. I just remember talking to him via Vox. Well, I'll level up before I talk to him. That seems to be the smart thing to do. Alright, so let's do these level ups. So new ability. Or we can do Piercing Shot. Gaining 100% over penetration and 12% armor pen. If there is prey, that next attack that hits the target is always a critical hit. I like the always a critical hit, making it like practically a guarantee to take a target out. Let's take Piercing Shot and then call the bolt next. Pascal. Get an ability and a skill. Okay. Good thing I have things marked. Blinding Strike. Overseer selects unoccupied cell in line of sight. Cyber Eagle moves, deals weapon damage without to all adjacent enemies and blinds them. Yeah, let's do that rather than just always hit. And then he's my tech use guy. He's failed tech uses with a 108 skill. That is hard to think about. Abelard. Same with him, we get an ability and a skill. We have defensive stance. And the two I have marked here are Wall of Rockcrete and Bulwark. Wall of Rockcrete, Vanguard and all allies in 3-cell radius gain 3 plus number of unyielding stack temporary wounds. So in this case, it would be... Oh. Unyielding Beacon kind of goes up every time. All affected targets suffer 50% less damage from next attack as well. Whereas Bulwark is, until next turn, gains deflection against range attacks equal to Unyielding Beacon, and also immune to push or forced movements. I feel that is more useful in a few situations because there have been ones where he is pushed or knocked down. I'm not sure I'm not sure this is going to be immune to knockdown effects, but this would at least be the like shove and stuff. And then he is my athletics guy, so we're gonna get that up. Even though the Koronus on him is pretty high, I need someone with athletics. Argenta. So we already know Devastating Attack doesn't work. I'm half thinking Reckless Rush won't work. I do have Confident Approach marked, but I'm thinking that because I'm going to want 3 abilities, getting Kick would be a good one. That would get people out of her shooting range. That also is a melee attack for her versatility stuff. Which does Confident Approach do again? Gains Confident Approach until end of combat, until used again, or using Cautious Approach instead of using usual bonuses from versatility. Gains Dodge Reduction, Parry Reduction, and ignores 3% of cover. All attacks score critical hits, but critical damage is reduced by half, so theoretically we're doing more damage. If we have 4 or more stacks of versatility, Militant's attacks always deal max damage as long as Confident Approach is active. So this would help her with accuracy as well, wouldn't it? Let's take Confident Approach. Then we get a common talent with Argenta. I have a few marked here, but we have all of them. So realistically, I don't know what to take with her anymore. Let's see here. I could get her 3 maximum wounds. She's my lore Imperium person, so that might be a good thing to take on her. I already took ballistic skill training, but the strength training might be a good thing just so she can also take heavier weapons later on. Yeah, for common talents, I'm not seeing much for her. And bolt weapons are not considered a solid projectile, so that's not going to be much. Swift movements might be good later on, so I'll mark that one later. I think what I'm going to do with her is I'm going to take characteristics training strength. That way I don't need to put as much into strength later, possibly. Because I think there's going to be weapons that are heavier that she's going to need the strength to equip. I'm not sure how much, but we'll just go with that for now. Because that puts her at 45 strength for now, but because of her thing for heavy weapons, that ups her by 25, so that would put her at 70 strength for the purposes of heavy weapons. And just to kind of show this for those of you who kind of aren't... Where'd her heavy bolter go? Why isn't this equipped? For those who don't know what I'm talking about here, has to have strength 60 to equip the heavy bolter. So, I'm assuming because this is like one of the early game bolters, or heavy bolters rather, there are going to be ones that are heavier on the strength, is kind of my deductioning there. Anyway, continuing on. Cassia, I kind of looked at some stuff for her earlier because I'm always at a loss. So I kind of wanted a Glimpse of Faith here. Target gains 30% increased hit rate on next attack, dodge on their next dodge, and chance of on their next resistance, and they disappear independently from each other. And then that will allow me to get Mend Reality later, which might be helpful. decreases Veil degradation by -6, and all allies get +6 deflection against warp damage and damage from psychic powers until Navigator's next turn. That might become a thing later on. So otherwise, all I would be doing is taking Combat Lotus Stratagem. And then this would, I'm assuming, help with Argenta's Bolter thing, in tandem with Pascal putting the minus recoil on her, so that she could become a beast. And then for funsies on Idira, I'm just going to take Pain Resonance. I'm not sure if or when I'll use this, but it could be used pretty easily to take out 8 enemy, let alone multiple enemies that have damage over time effects on them. It just triggers an additional damage over time from any damage over time effects they have on them, plus we'll deal extra effects. But then we'll remove that on the Executioner's next turn. For Cabela, she was always my Medicaid person. I kind of wanted Killing Edge on her, so she would attack, granting 40% extra dodge. I'm not sure why it would grant that much dodge to the target, but if it hits, deals 20 extra damage rounded down to the target, increased by twice the percentage of missing wounds. So basically, if it hits, it's going to take out the target type deal. And these next ones I'm not too worried about. Alright, let's go talk to Zachary. I think he would be in the Astropathic Chapel, which I don't think I've actually been to.
How fascinating. To me, the Imperium is made of colors, but to the astropaths who dwell in this chapel, it is music.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Music. Why do the astropaths not fill this place with litanies in his name instead?
I mean, Idira did kind of, in the beginning of the game, tell you that every single Psyker sees the warp and feels the warp differently. So to her, it's like a door that speaks in voices. To Cassia, it's colors, and I guess it's music to this guy. We'll just logic with my character.
Perfection.
Machine uses many quills to commit Astropath's whispers to paper, then sorts the resulting raw mental images based on meaning. Goods? I mean, they're my ship's goods anyway, right? More loot over here. I do like the music here.
Tread a path unexplored.
Kind of sounds like boss music and endgame music. Oh, look at that. I wanted to call it a piano, but it's more like an organ, isn't it? And that's not the right thing. What they play in churches. Hey, Zachary. Quarry Master Weiss turns towards you long before you reach him. A chill runs down your spine as if someone was watching you from inside your own being. Willpower succeeded. You summon your will and drive out the unpleasant sensation. He smiles sadly. You shroud your mind well, your lordship, and yet I can guess why you have come. With all due respect, I am asking you to reconsider. He knows why we're here. I have not asked my question yet, though. You feel a strange anxiety as the old man's burnt-out eyes seem to probe your inner self. Your intentions are fairly easy for me to infer. You're looking for mutineers, and the only reason you would come to your quartermaster is to order me to turn to the warp for answers. Your predecessor came to me with the same orders once. Nothing good came of it. Please believe me when I say a mountain of corpses is the least of the problems we faced the last time. So you say you performed the ritual before Theodora? Many years ago, it was a time when Lady Theodora had become anxious. Perhaps Lord Inquisitor's interest in her affairs adversely affected her. Shall we say, trusted in her own subjects. It was in expecting a betrayal, and eventually a paranoia brought her to me. I performed the ritual, but the choir ceased to exist. I remember that day, Lord Captain. When we arrived at the chapel, there was blood and human remains everywhere. That was the least of the terrifying things we saw there. So what was the nature of the ritual? It takes the entire Coir's power to invade such a prestigious number of minds at once. We weave their voices into a chord and steer it into the murky sea of other people's souls. Together, we read tens of thousands of thoughts, emotions, and intents, looking for the thing we are after, the seed of corruption you are interested in. So why are you so worried? Like, what? I can kind of infer that you are telling me that this is a bad idea, and that we get really, really close to the warp and bad things are going to happen. I want to know the details of why this is so bad. Lord Captain, do you know the proverb about staring too long into the abyss? What you are asking for is tantamount to plunging the entire Coir into that abyss. A ritual like that will require incredible focus from each one of its participants. It will take a ceaseless, careless thought, a single glance in the wrong direction, for the way back to be lost. Human minds fusing into one another, vitrified organs inside living bodies, perverse fantasies manifesting in the flesh. Nothing will stop the horrors of the warp from spreading all over the ship in the blink of an eye. Even if I agreed, it would be impossible. I would need a second, powerful telepath as a defender to shield my mind. The last time my best apprentice Adeline did that, and she is no longer with us. She was exceptionally talented, rivaling even myself. Now, I know of only one Psyker in the entire Expanse who is her equal, but he is bound to the service of House Winterscale's planetary governors, and thus unavailable to us, which makes your dangerous enterprise an impossibility. How bad was it? Worse than you can imagine, your lordship. It only took a fraction of a second, lingering in another mind, for one of the astropaths to lose control of his own. The affliction spread down like a chain of fire. No one was spared. The minds of my charges could not withstand the tension. The consequences were caught in a vortex of alien. The fortunate ones died at once. As for the rest of us, Argenta makes a sign of the Aquila. Protect the souls of the stricken and take them under your wing, that your faithful servants may find peace. How did you survive then? I managed to send out a call for help and did my best to contain the phantoms on my own before Lady Theodora arrived. I was the only survivor out of the entire Coir. Her ladyship allowed me to spend a month in secluded cell, upon whose floor and walls I drew the most powerful protective hexagrams I knew. I was crushed, I was broken, and worst of all, I was afraid. Afraid of meeting the same fate as Adeline and my other apprentices. An astropath must never be afraid, your lordship. One who yields to fear dies and dooms them around them. So how did you replenish the Coir? Lady Theodora bombarded the Adeptus Administratum for months with requests to provide her new astropathic Coir. In the end, new voices did fill the chapel. They were never told what happened to the previous Coir, but they have inklings, and I pray to God Emperor that they never find out the details of the tragedy. So, how is a ritual like that even possible? It is not heresy, but is indeed a dangerous tool that will only yield to a mighty hand. That time, things were going all too well. The Coir was many-voiced like never before. Adeline and my other talented apprentices sounded louder than the rest of the astropaths in all the Expanse. We were strong and confident enough to take a bold gamble, and we lost. So, what I'm really interested in knowing is, did you succeed? Did you find what you were looking for? I can go out and find talented people to shield you. I did find it. But the price, yes, Lady Theodora got the name she wanted, but was it worth it? The tragedy has remained a secret hidden within the chapel, but we were a hair's breadth away from it becoming an epitaph inscribed on the ship's remain. It is fair to say that my predecessor was being hearers. Alright, so Lord Captain, learn from her mistakes instead of committing your own. Well, I'm not going to make him do it right now, but what if we got that Psyker from Winterscale to help him? So yeah, we can find that Psyker. Who's that Winterscale Psyker? Master Hirimon is a seasoned telepath, but his lord would never part with such an incredibly valuable specialist. A sizable amount of money would be necessary to organize his escape. Perhaps you have some useful contacts at your disposal who could assist in... Yeah, I do. I have a few acquaintances with considerable experience. They charge a modest fee. As you please. He'll welcome the news of his forthcoming release, and his present lord is quite unpleasant. I'll report back once he's brought on board. So did that cost me any... That didn't... Because of my background, I don't think I even lost profit factor of that. I gotta go back... Actually, I can do it from here. Yeah, I didn't even lose profit factor to that. So, okay, well... I suppose we just need to wait for that now, and that's that, which will be like a few jumps away. And it'll let us do stuff now? Maybe? I don't remember if I was doing anything in this area. Like, I, at this point, have lost track of what I was doing. I think I was backtracking, so I could go to a different system. Yeah, I was going here to Telecos, so I could go to Orsilio. Valstone has begun a new stage of development to profit factor. During the period designated as night shift, air throughout the ship suddenly turned stale. Those who were awake reported feeling incredibly tired. Those who were asleep had horrible nightmares. Sensual Warsterian found his quarters in a trance-like state. He was pacing the room, talking to an unseen interlocutor. At the same time, questions over and over. Why won't the fever break? Does the esteemed surgeon have the faintest idea what he's doing? Then he sat by his bed for a long time, clutching the sleeve of a void suit, repeating, "Everything will be alright, son." With great difficulty, the enforcers managed to return Sensual to his senses. By the order of Sensual Warserian, the report of the incident has been erased from the ship's logs. I mean, you do you there, buddy. So now we can go up here. But I forgot to check again. Critical tasks. Yeah, just the twin systems is... Yeah, the Forgotten Twins is of note to me. How we get there, though, is... question mark? Like, I might have to go to the belt, Nameless Star, then here. Or something. But... let's make this route safe to the Orsilio Prophecy. Go here. I mean, it's just not more void stuff. Oh, there was a void flash of red hair, and then what's this? Oh, hi. Are you mad at people again? You posed a question to me not long ago, Elentok, and now I'm here to present you with my answer. With fluid grace, Yarlette emerges from the shadows of the captain's bridge. Her face seems to glow under the blooming light, her expression slightly more pensive. Alright, you've my complete attention. Then listen closely to my answer, Elentok. You may struggle to comprehend what is to be said, being accustomed to reveling in your own might and skewing the world to suit yourself. Pitch your understanding not towards my words, but to the sense that lies hidden in the shade of their sounds. Interesting sentence, okay. She half closes her eyes, her words unfurling slowly and melodically. You try to split the world into pieces, to fragment it, into light and dark, truth and lies, self and other. But I see the world as a single whole, and in this lies its simplicity and complexity. It is not enough to simply see the world and hear its voices, you must understand it. Think of the Liliathon, the world on which our paths crossed. What is it truly? What is its essence? Its magnificence comes not from the green of its vast forests, or from the depths of its waters. Its beauty is in the word. in the way it dances on the tongue, and even you, Elentok, can sense it. Try, say the word, slowly, delicately, casting aside all stray thoughts. Feel, perhaps then you will see. Okay, so close our eyes, simply feel in your mind, speak the word. The world all around you fades and your perception instantly narrows, coming to a single point of focus on the tip of your tongue. Your tongue delicately trickles the roof of your mouth, and then the sound slips from your throat with the incredible silkiness warming as it goes from the slip of the fresh recalf. The tip of your tongue touches the same place again, and softly rushes from your chest. Then the sounds of laceration of leaves as the wind weaves through the forest canopy. Then the tongue taps the front teeth, and a gentle vibration spreads through your body, sending a shiver through your spine. Guarded interest gleams in Yerlet's eyes when your gaze meets again. I think I'm beginning to understand. If your words are sincere, then you are capable of seeing more than you do now. Instead of the lifeless clamor of monstrous mechanisms, the roar of engines, and the discordant voices of your followers, I hear and attend to silence. It arises in moments of spiritual serenity, and in that stillness we become witness to the transformation of our own inner world. Monkey lives pass so swiftly. You rush through them for the sake of a chosen goal. But thoughts of transience and loss frighten you. So you drive such thoughts away and drown yourself in the daily tumult. But it is from such fleeting moments which enter our lives and quickly vanish from them that the soul's fortress grows. A moment's blooming, an hour's wilting, a splendor of our lives in its ephemerity. So too the memories of those who have left our side and no longer walk the path with us. And you too, Elentok, I see much more than just another monkey. Your true essence lies in your will, which is capable of changing the world around you and within you. It lies in your ability to create and understand your creation, and your ability to destroy. It lies in your kin's minds that cannot grasp what their primitive sight cannot behold, but I see it. Interesting take on the Eldar. Or Eldrani, I suppose. She technically is. And then she's trying to teach a human how they see everything. Like, I never expected you to say such things in reference to me. I am but speaking the truth, Elentok. However, I ask you not to make typical mistake of your kinds. My words contain no insinuation nor any call for you to act. Your soul shines so brightly in this world. I see you, and this will never change. That is all. Well, thank you for... It's more of showing me how you see the world. Or showing me how to see the world, but in your eyes. But thank you for telling me how to see the world. And what do you make of it, Elentok? Do you see different... How do you differently see the world? How differently do you see the world? She obviously wants me to say one. And this entire character basically says, screw the God Emperor, I don't give a care. And technically, we do things for ourselves. But the way we've been playing this character, we wouldn't admit that. So we do see greater things, because now that you've seen that, you've shown us how to see that, we do actually see greater things, and we can use that to our advantage. So we actually do see greater things. Something deeper than the outer guise of things that we can use to our advantage. We are not lying. So I do see something greater in the world around me. We're not lying. And what does that mean? Yerla asks with the attention focused on your word. Ooh. Not imperfection and destruction. I mean, 3 would actually be more of our character, especially with how we've been doing it, because we play to the uniqueness of everything. And that's how I usually do things. We play to the uniqueness and go, Well, you're leaning into this, so I'm going to talk about that and try to get that information out of you. Or try to get that special thing out of you. So I can see the uniqueness of every creature, everything, and it pleases me. Then I can follow the line of your thoughts, Elentok. Every form, color, creature, and being possesses its own charm, capacity to stir emotions, millions of stars in the darkness, the immutability of void crystals, plethora of intelligent and primitive forms that inhabit the galaxy. The world manifests itself in endless diversity, and in that lies its true magnificence. Now that we have shared our truth about this world, I would like to know if your thoughts about me align with those of your kin, Elentok, or if you see me differently. I mean, you're not a normal Xenos to me, like how others see Xenos. Oh, hell. I see. Some of these answers are just riddled with, like, holes. I could see you as an intelligent yet dangerous being, but an ally, and that's gonna piss her off. You're beautiful and alluring. That's gonna piss her off. I have a feeling, do not worry, I'm not attracted to you in any sense of the word. That is a trap. Coming from personal experience, this is a trap. This is a trap, men. Never say this to a woman. Never say this. This will, in one shape, way, or form, stab you in the back. Oh, make the woman say this. Don't say this yourself. Never say this to a woman. This will get drinks thrown in your face. Alcoholic or non, this will get you slapped. Or this will get you screamed at. Or this will get you called and screamed at. If you're not in front of them. I have had so many things happen to me because of me saying this in some way, shape, or form. Do not say this. That is something to unbox later. So, I feel like me saying your appeal is unusual and invoking disquiet is not right. So, they like words. We're going to say a lot of words. You're foreign yet a beguiling world, and one day I hope to know you. And on that day, my world will become much deeper. She goes still and looks at you intently as if seeing you for the first time. It seems there are many facets of your soul that I have not considered, Elentok. Interesting. I accept your answer and thank you for speaking with me. This is the first conversation on this vessel that has truly brought serenity and joy to my soul. We got through another one without her shooting or yelling at someone. Yay. Okay, can I go to the star system now, please? I want to do space exploration. So, unvisited star system. I just kind of want to see what's here. Because this episode's kind of going long, I'm not going to do the, any explorations or fights. I'm just going to do, like, any quick things here. Got the trophies. Scan this. There it... Oh. So, Jungle World, it appears that a large void ship recently dumped a huge load of junk and faulty parts from orbit. The debris did not burn up in the atmosphere and is now blocking flow of mighty river. This dam is now causing the river to overflow, flooding nearby valley. A large huge of hoofed rodents, interesting thought, hoofed rodents, has gathered along the riverbanks. If the animals lose their habitat, they are doomed. So we can hunt them, probably get provisions, or I can save the habitat and get whatever was dumped. And then thus saving the rodents. We're going to save the rodents and get whatever's there. Remove space debris. Word of the rodent captain's unusual fondness for bizarre rodents spread. We'll see what that is in just a second. Takes many planetary turns and hundreds of crew members to remove heaps of trash and unclog the river, letting the waters flow freely once more. The rodents run back to their pastures without so much as a backward glance at the people who saved them. Rumors. Word of the Lord Captain's unusual fondness for bizarre rodents is quickly spreading across the ship's decks. And then this is like a magma or a fire world, I'm assuming. Dead world, nothing on it. So we'll do the pirates at the beginning of the next episode, keep exploring after that, and go from there and keep trying to get to Kavia Gamma. It's going to be a little bit to get there because this just takes a while, and I would feel kind of bad because there's some cool stuff that from just some of the interactions if I skipped all the way there. So we'll pick up from here next time and see just what we can do. So I suppose that'll be it for this time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. And otherwise, as always, wish you all well. I will see you next time. And please, have a good one.